Hi guys, from this month's BBC Good Food magazine, I made this winter panzanella, contributed by Diana Henry, so you know it's good. Panzanella is an Italian bread salad where stale bread is soaked in water and mixed with tomatoes, onion and basil. Though this winter version uses cauliflower, garlic and parsley. And the bread is toasted too, so it's crunchy instead of soggy. Start off with a head of cauliflower and remove the leaves. Don't throw them away though, they can be roasted or cooked like cabbage. Then cut the cauliflower into bite-sized florets. Place them all into a metal steamer, clamp the lid on, and then sit it over a saucepan of boiling water for about 7 minutes. Then I took an electric scale to weigh out 35 grams of raisins, but you don't actually need a scale at all, 2 generous tablespoons would do. Then cover them in boiling water and allow them to steep for 5 to 10 minutes. Now take a large bowl and about 250 grams of good white bread. I'm using focaccia here, which has olives on top, so I'm just going to pluck them out before I tear them up into bite-sized pieces. But you can use ciabatta or sourdough as well for this. This dish, like so many other dishes around the world that use bread, came about as a way of using up stale bread. So if yours is a little stale, then all the better. So once that's all torn up, just set it aside until it'll be toasted in the pan. Now grab a plate for some strong tasting ingredients we're going to use to flavour the croutons. Starting with 2 chilies the recipe calls for, but I've just got this one really big one, so I'm going to use that. First though, I'm going to remove the seeds because that'll really take a lot of the fiery heat out of it. And then I'm just going to chop up the flesh finely. Add it to the plate and then peel and thinly slice some garlic cloves. The recipe calls for 4, but this garlic is kind of small, so I'm going to use 7, but use what you like. There's no need to be too particular with the chopping here, I'm just thinly slicing them. Before adding them to the chilies, because they'll all be added at the same time. So too will 8 anchovy fillets, and just chop them up as well. Don't worry if you don't like anchovies, these will dissolve into the oil and you won't even really taste them, but they will give a really nice savouriness. So add them to the chili and garlic, and now might be a good time to go ahead and strain those raisins. And don't forget your cauliflower either. Mine was done here, so I just took it off the steamer. Next, I added 3 tablespoons of olive oil to a large frying pan over a medium heat, and once that was hot, I piled in the broken up bread. Stir it about with a wooden spoon until it starts to grow really golden and crunchy. The recipe says to do this in batches if you like, but my frying pan is big enough, so I just added them all in. The recipe then says to return all the batches of toasted bread to the pan, as well as the garlic, chili and anchovy, plus a little bit of extra olive oil if it needs it. But just to help cook the garlic, chili and anchovies, I'm removing the breadcrumbs altogether, cooking the garlic, chili and anchovies with a little bit of oil separately for just a little while. Don't let the garlic go brown or anything, just to help the anchovies dissolve into the oil before returning the bread back to the pan and tossing it about for another few minutes so that they all become nice and infused with the strong flavours of garlic, chili and anchovy. After a few minutes, transfer the bread to a large mixing bowl. Return the pan to the heat, turn the heat up to high, add another couple of tablespoons, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan. Let that heat up and then pile in your steamed cauliflower. Then stir fry the cauliflower over a high heat until it starts to take on a nice golden brown colour. How long that'll take will depend on how wet or moist the cauliflower is. Mine was pretty moist, so all that water had to evaporate off the cauliflower before it started to caramelise. Once you have a nice colour on it, then take it off the heat and allow it to cool slightly while you assemble the salad. This still should be served warm. Next, take 5 radishes and thinly slice them up before adding them to the big mixing bowl with the toasted bread. Next, grab a small-ish bunch of fresh parsley and chop it up coarsely. You need about 4 tablespoons of coarsely chopped parsley, flat leaf parsley. Then add that to the toasted bread as well, along with the drained raisins, 1 tablespoon of capers, plus an extra little bit if you're feeling generous. Now pile in the cauliflower. Add a teaspoon of white wine vinegar or white balsamic vinegar, the juice of half a lemon at first. Once you taste it at the end, you can add more lemon juice if you like. And finally, a generous pinch of sea salt flakes. Yes, there are loads of anchovies in there and they are salty, but I think that this salad can still take a bit of salt. And there's no better way of mixing this up than with your hands. So just dig in and toss it all together until everything is nicely evenly distributed throughout the salad. Now just find a nice serving bowl and pile it all into it and then serve up as is. Easy peasy. Thanks a million for watching, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. You can check me out on social media if you like. You'll find all the links to my accounts in the description, as well as the link to my blog where you'll find this full recipe at www.rookiecook.org.